Hey Rob, how you doing? Knocked out a lot of miles yesterday, about 620. Not a bad day today. Hey Linda, how you doing? How's Stan doing? Hey Karen, how's it going? Doing pretty well. Hey Monica, how you doing? Pretty good. It's a long day yesterday. That's good. Is Stan back 100% yet? Oh, yeah, Gilligan's Island's cool. It was a great show. I got home at midnight. About 620 miles yesterday. You know, I'm not kidding you. From the time I left all the way up there and all the way back, I'll bet you I didn't see 25 cars the whole 620 miles. It was about a 13-hour day yesterday. Oh, okay, that's good, 80. That's good. Tell Stan I went in and broke in over his cabin and had a party there. Uh, there's a place where you can pull over, but they really don't want you doing it. So I would say no. You can walk over there every Labor Day. I might do that this year. I mean, I probably could have got away with it last night, but it was raining big time. Hey, Cruz. Love going over that bridge when the weather was like it was yesterday. Just beautiful, windy, raining. I'm just like driving across the thing, thinking, wow, what a piece of architecture. Oh, I locked it back up. I did, Linda. Yeah, it was great. It was great up there. The UP, not much going on. I mean, those little towns I took a video of, that's about it up there. Not much going on. Oh, okay, Julie. If you look on a map, you look at the UP. Now, I cut up to Deer Park it's called, and then I cut over to the other small town just to the west, Grand Marius, and that's a road you got to do about 5 miles an hour on. It took me an hour to get there. If you're going to go to any of these UP places, start from the bottom of the Upper Peninsula and go directly there off Highway 2, or it'll take forever. I mean, and it looks like the road runs along Lake Superior there, but 80% of the time you can't see the water. So it's really not the way to go unless you got a ton of time and you don't mind doing 5 miles an hour for 50 miles on a sand road. Yeah, deer are all over. I almost hit 2 of them last night, which is rare. They were everywhere, all the way back, which is like 400 miles, all the way from Grand Marias to home. The deer were everywhere along the side of the roads eating. That was a big doe. No, I don't know what that is, Richie. It's kind of a weird mild winter this year. On those trails now, on the lower Tequanimum Falls, there's about 4 foot of snow on those trails. It's stacked up high, and I had to basically type walk around 8 inches wide all the way down to the lower falls. It took forever. I think it was probably a 1.5 mile walk. The upper falls, they've got the observation deck blocked off. That's why the only shots I got were like long distance. It's a good trip, had a good time. I was hoping I might get lucky and run into some birds, but I'm still pretty early. Whitefish Point was cool. Yeah, this is the prime time if you want to see a lot of water coming over the falls. That's about as good as it gets. I mean, I'm not knocking the area. I think it's cool, but I think there are a lot better places you could go if you're going to knock out those kind of mileage. I think the UP has got some unique characteristics like the wind on Whitefish Point, but I'd rate the whole place as average, nothing exceptional. Even the falls, they're okay, but I got to get up there this winter and do some winter photography. Hey, Maggie. On the lower falls, they've blocked off the road, so you've got to walk from the parking lot all the way down to get there, and it takes forever. And like I said, there's 4 feet of snow on those trails. And with just a little ridge you can type walk on. I didn't realize it was that far. I talked to a park ranger. She acted like it was 100 yards down the road. I had both cameras and had to walk down there and back. But it was cool, beautiful. But I think they're better places. Yeah, the walk to the lower falls. I had a couple people, saw a couple young people that back when I was back there, but it's a walk. I mean, I'm lucky I didn't bust my ass because I didn't plan on walking like that, and I didn't think there was that kind of snow. But you know, once you get into it, you're just going to keep on going. Well, I did all the hard work for you, Julie. You can just sit back and watch. I love Lake Superior. You know, that's interesting characteristic because it's so deep. Lake Superior can actually fit the water of the other 4 Great Lakes in it, plus 3 more Lake Eries. It's unbelievable, the capacity of the water of Lake Superior. So you get that deep water, and then you get those crazy winds out of the north in the winter. That's what takes out those freighters, like the Edmund Fitzgerald. That's not the first one sunk. And you get some pretty heavy winds on Lake Huron as well. There's some videos on YouTube. I mean, you'd think you were in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. A lake can produce those kind of conditions, but it can. Lake Superior particularly, very cold, very windy, and bigger waves for them on that lake than the other lakes. Tequamanon Falls, I mean, I don't want to sound bad about it. It's a phenomenon. I mean, a freshwater waterfalls. So, I mean, it's not like you got a lot of competition. I mean, this is just, I don't want to say anything bad about it, but for the kind of stuff I like, I'd rate it a 5 out of 10. It's a long drive. There's nothing to do up there. You can't even get in those. I am in the off season. It's just dead. I mean, you get a few water shots. Like on the Lake Superior, I didn't take too many photos of Lake Superior. I got the video at Whitefish Point. That's because it was calm. The wind was coming out of the south-southeast, so I was on the wrong side of the heavy water, but I expected that this time of year. But if you looked at Whitefish Point, you could still get some of the remnants of that wind coming up from the south, where you could see it banging against the seawall. Yeah, I've been to Porcupine State Park, yep. But the UP, I mean, it all kind of looks the same to me. Nothing going on, little dinky towns, sandy beaches, and nothing to do. It's big-time rustic camping, which I'm not really into. So, I mean, another couple 100 miles. I mean, I think 630 miles yesterday's trip was. I mean, if you look at, from my house is the same distance to go to Detroit as it is to Sault Ste. Marie. I have more fun, I think, just driving 183 miles north. I think it's something like that. Yeah, and watching the freighters, getting a good bite to eat and coming home. I mean, it's more fun for less driving. And it isn't like, Alaska's the same way. Once you get on the interior side, interior of an area like Alaska or the Upper Peninsula, it all looks the same. It doesn't look any different than St. Helens, Michigan. It's just, you look at that Skinny Wildlife Refuge, it's basically all swamp, mud. You can't even look at the roads, how they're constructed in the upper. Not like you got a bunch of east-west roads running through the middle of the state. You don't, because nothing's out there but birds and bears and bugs. Oh, you're welcome, Slim. The falls are kind of cool. I mean, when you think of like fresh water falls in a place like Michigan, it's just natural. And you look at the water problems there are in the country, and it's just mind-blowing. 50,000 gallons a second. And also, if you went up there in the summertime, it's not going to look like that. It's still going to look pretty cool. As a matter of fact, on the lower falls, the shorter ones, people wade and swim around there. It's only about 4 feet deep. I mean, it looks like yesterday if you'd have fallen in there, you'd have drowned. But in the summertime, it's like not that big a deal. Now the upper falls, it's a bigger deal. It's 48 feet tall, and that's like a legit, that's a telephone pole length. It's a kick-ass looking view. Yeah, it sounds good, Lena. Yep. Oh yeah, you're welcome. So I like big birds, and that's about it. I mean, again, you see located in a place like the Upper Peninsula, and that water's been gushing over there for all these years, and it hasn't like crumbled or fallen over or ran out of water or anything like that. I mean, it's a natural phenomenon. Oh, same to you, Goldie. But I could hang around the Mackinac Bridge forever. There's a couple other little videos I'm going to upload. I like that windy, misty, crazy wind day. It was great yesterday going over in the daytime and coming back at night. They were doing escorts yesterday, and as I put in the video, what that means is 20 miles an hour. They want everybody to go slow, but I wouldn't call it dangerous or risky at all. It seems like it if you don't know about it. You see a truck blinking, you see like a cop lights at the bottom, you think, what the hell is this thing about ready to fall over? It's just like overkill. I think a big part of it is that they're trying to instill confidence in people that, look, this isn't a death-defying act when you cross the bridge. When I paid the toll going across, I said to the guy, I said, what's the deal on these escorts? I mean, are they mandatory? And he said, no, they're just slowing people down. He said, well, you survived it. You got across. You're safe now. So they must tell people to like reassure people where, honestly, when I went across, the wind was pretty much coming south at the time, which would have been on the back of me. It would have been pushing me. So I didn't notice any of those gusts because they weren't coming across the side like from the west. Coming across at night last night, I had the one window down. It would have been the east side, just so you could hear the wind. But again, it's no big deal. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are afraid to drive over the bridge. I got guys sitting around that'll drive your car over there for you. I think they could have done a little bit better on making it look safer, because when you're driving across there and you're in the right lane, they got about an 18-inch curb that you'd have to straddle first. But the rail is actually low and looks down. The rail looks like it's only be less likely to be nervous if the rail was 5 or 6 feet tall, and you think, well, there's no way in hell I'm breaking through that thing. But the way it looks, especially if you don't know a lot about it, it looks like you could drive off the side no problem. So I think that's why people get freaked out. Yeah, I mean, you're looking down at the top of the rail. Or if they had some big giant like steel safety net that was higher than the roof of your car, you'd think, oh, wow, this is no big deal. But it looks like you could go off the side. I hate to say it. I think you'd really, and if you look up the Yugo, Yugo, a lady got blown off the top of that bridge during a winter storm. Look up on Google. What a way to go. 171-foot drop. And you know, the minute that car bolted over the side of the bridge, that you got to be thinking to yourself, oh no. Plus, it's deep there. I think it's like 400 feet deep or something like that. Really deep. Yeah, there's a phobia for that associated with. My mother was like that. My dad was too. My dad had never been in an airplane associated with like, is it acrophobia, agoraphobia, acrophobia, heights? There's different subphobia for bridges. It's not just high; it's being on a bridge as well. No, it does look. I mean, I mean, I read a lot. I know that you'd really have to work it. You know, I think once your front tire straddled that curb, your frame would get, if you had a frame like I do in the van, you get hung up on the side there. It would just take so much energy to lift like vehicle up and over that rail. And you're not going to get that from a side. You know, it's not like you've got big winds blowing through the grates from underneath. So if you look at it from a science perspective, it's almost impossible. But to the eye, it looks like this is not fun. And that's a long ass bridge. When they slow the traffic down like they did last night, it's about a 7-minute trip across. It was that way for me going across and coming back. Yeah, big planes are super safe. Oh, no kidding, Julian. What happened to that lady in the Yugo? Sure did. Now, they do close the bridge now occasionally. You know, the Straits of Mackinac, the way that wind gets jammed down there, coming out of the west, that corridor, it produces some unique weather phenomena. And when you're down there, and you know, like I took that video underneath the bridge, I do that every time I go up there. It's so beautiful. But you can see those are big waves. I mean, looking at them, you can't really tell, but I bet those were 4-foot, 5-foot waves. You're not, you got to be in a decent sized boat to not worry about capsizing. And that water's cold, and it's hauling ass. It's going from the west to the east. Yeah, poor girl. I think she was going to see her boyfriend. She was from Fenton, Michigan. I mean, you can imagine how they felt. This girl never shows up to where she's going. And then all of a sudden they start wondering, where the hell is she? You know, and they go and check the bridge. They've got cameras all over the bridge. There was a truck driver from here driving a beer truck a few years ago. It had a heart attack driving across. And they actually got him slumping right into the steering wheel with one of their cameras. Yeah, they got it covered. But you know, here this girl doesn't show up. They wonder what happened to her, and they go back and you see this big paint scrape on the side of the rail. You're thinking, you got to be kidding! This actually happened. And then you go down there, and whatever they used to determine it was at the bottom of the straits, they verified it. Sure enough. I don't know if they ever got her body out of there or not. You know, once you get 100 feet plus, it's super expensive to retrieve a body. When I was living in downtown Chicago, there was an attorney that had an airplane that was shooting an approach in bad weather into Toronto, and he ended up crashing. It was like 310 feet, and they got in a dispute with the insurance company about retrieving his body because it was going to cost some crazy dollar amount. They ended up settling, and they retrieved his body, but it was an expensive endeavor. But he sat down there, strapped in that airplane for 3 weeks. He wasn't going anywhere. And if you look up around Lake Superior, right where I had that video of the water crashing against the seawall at Whitefish Point. There's all sorts of boats around the shore that are all busted up. I don't know whether their engine quit or what, but they're all like there are a couple of aluminum boats all twisted up. I don't know how that happened. Water is super powerful. Yeah, she was in the car. Yep. I don't remember if they ever got her body. I'm sure if you Google it right now, you'll find it. What a way to go, though. Oh, did they really? Yeah, I never remember. I don't remember hearing that. Huh. Well, it makes sense. She was in the car. I mean, where are you gonna go? I was reading up some stuff on the Edmund Fitzgerald. That sunk about 17 miles from Whitefish Point, where I took the video. So you could see it out there in a clear day, no problem. 17 miles is nothing. And I never realized they never found any bodies. I mean, it doesn't matter, but they didn't. I wonder how the news would have got privy to a photo underwater like that. Like I said, that's big buck equipment, and you'd have thought they would have been better at guarding it and not releasing it to some damn news station. Oh, no kidding. Yeah, it wouldn't be for me. Well, I think I'm going to sign off here, you guys. You guys have a good day today. Oh, and they pulled out the car. Okay. You too, Julie. All right, Linda. Say hi to Stan.